Well, we are in a unique position broadcasting to you because we do it two ways. I analyze the news through the eyes of a journalist, my formal training, but also through the eyes of a historian. And I don't think there's anybody else in the American media doing that on a regular basis right now. So tonight, we are going to use history as our lead. But of course, we'll bring in the journalistic stuff as well, because we have a lot of facts to give you. And the talking points memo deals with both of them. So there are some warnings about the progressive movement and Vice President Harris. Not many, but some. And we are among those. So most Americans were surprised that President Biden governed so far to the left because, as you'll remember, 2020 portrayed himself as a moderate who was going to bring the country together. Well, that's not what happened. Okay? He was under the sway of far left people in the White House, and that's what he did. So, historically, Mr. Biden deceived the nation. He said he was a moderate, governed as a progressive. Simple, provable, no doubt about it. All right. Now, Biden himself, in my opinion now, doesn't care about ideology at all. He is not a fanatical, radical leftist. He cares about power and money, Joe Biden. And if he has to fit into the progressive ideology to acquire power and money, he will do that. Kamala Harris is another matter. As Dennis Miller once said, and I quoted him in my column on Sunday, the vice president is a different cat. So if you follow her career, she is a committed leftist, never deviated from that. She'll tell you as Attorney General of California how tough she was on the cartels. There's no record of that at all. She'll tell you that, people were afraid of her, the criminals. There's just no record. She was a competent attorney general for a liberal state like California. She did what the machine, the Democratic machine, wanted. That's all. And the people of California obviously were pleased with that because they sent her to the Senate. All right. Now, in 2019, while a senator, GovTrack, GovTrack, ranked Kamala Harris the most liberal senator in the entire body of 100 senators, stunning Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. I mean, if you're going to outflank those two on the left, you got to know where you are. All right. No pushback from Harris on it. He was more than happy to take that designation. And when I look at her now, I see an entirely different person. And you do too, if you watch your television ads. So millions of Americans, they don't know about Kamala Harris's record in California in 4 years in the Senate. They don't know anything. They don't really care. It's what they see and hear on TV, social media, and all that. And the Harris campaign is basically positioning her as a moderate, just like Joe Biden. And she wants to bring everybody together. Roll the tape.
I believe very strongly that the American people want a president who understands the importance of bringing us together, knowing we have so much more in common than what separates us. And I pledge to you to be a president for all Americans.
Well, that's not going to happen if she wins. I mean, conservative Americans, traditional Americans are going to be hammered. I mean, just for example, Kamala Harris believes in her heart, again, separating her from Biden, who doesn't have any beliefs, she believes that minors under the age of 18 should be able to get an abortion without their parents knowing. Not going to bring Americans together? No. She will go after affluent Americans and businesses, trying to take as much money from them in a variety of different ways as she can. Not going to bring the country together? No. And I could give you 20 more things. All right? So I am sounding the alarm that what the Harris campaign is putting out there, just like what the Biden campaign put out there, is deceptive. Now, you're not getting that analysis in a lot of places. What you're getting is ideological analysis from the right, saying that she's the devil and she's far left and this and that. But they're not honing in on the strategy. There are two that are, me and the Wall Street Journal. So yesterday, the Journal editorialized, quote, this is about the Biden and Harris administration. Most ominous is the collaboration of these menacing regional powers into a new anti-Western axis. Iran supplies missiles and drones to Moscow, which may be supplying nuclear know-how to Tehran. China is aiding Moscow, which now joins Beijing in naval maneuvers. North Korea also arms Moscow, while being protected by China from the United Nations sanctions it once voted for. All of this and more adds up to the worst decline in world order and the largest decline in U.S. influence since the 1930s. Yet Mr. Biden continues to speak and act as if he's presided over an era of spreading peace and prosperity. Unquote, September 23rd. Kamala Harris has cheerleaded that entire thing. All right? She has not given any specific solutions to the rise of Iranian power because Biden downgraded the sanctions against Iran. And we've seen what happened. All right? The rise of Hamas and Hezbollah in aggressiveness, Putin's invasion of Ukraine, and China's basically trying to take over the whole region. We have heard not one thing from Kamala Harris about that because she's not interested in that. She's interested in promoting socialism or socialist tenets in the United States. That is her primary interest. Okay. So this week, the Defense Department announced sending more U.S. troops to the Middle East because war there is a very real possibility. I mean, real war between nations. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Iran wants its ports bombed and wants all its oil tankers sunk, which is what Israel would do to it. So I don't think it's going to happen. But the Defense Department is moving U.S. personnel into the area. Like, that's under Biden and Harris. So many Americans are so clueless about geopolitics, they have no idea. They don't watch this broadcast. They don't listen to me on the radio. Don't read my books. They live in a cyber world. I talk about deceit, my God. But they're comfortable living there. They believe what they want to believe based on nothing. Those people are going to vote. And that's what the Harris campaign is counting on. That they'll see the television ads and go, oh, look how nice she looks. Look, yeah, she's not, boy, I tell you. So let me wrap up the memo. Vice President Kamala Harris is the most radical presidential candidate in history. Worse than Eugene Debs, DEBS, look him up. It's not even close. The most radical leftist candidate in history. I know what I'm talking about. You know, Confronting the President sold more than 100,000 copies in less than 2 weeks. Okay, I know what I'm talking about. Nobody even approaches her. Do you think all these people who are supporting Harris know that? Only a small sliver do. And that's dangerous. And that's the memo. By now, you have heard me talk about Delta Rescue. They are a fantastic organization that helps rescue animals from the wilderness. You know, I'm a dog lover, so is Leo Grillo, the founder of Delta Rescue. It is his life's mission to provide everlasting care for these once abandoned animals. I myself have donated to Delta Rescue. Do you believe it is part of man's duty to care for dogs and horses, the animals that so much of our history is tied to? If so, please consider making a donation or consult your advisor about leaving a gift in your will or trust. There can be some tax advantages, and it's a great way to help Delta Rescue accomplish their mission. So please visit deltarescue.org to learn more. That's deltarescue.org. All right, California. Gavin Newsom signed a law I agree with. Yay! Yay. So one of the dangers to our freedom is AI, artificial intelligence. And the reason is that in the years to come, it'll be a lot easier to commit fraud using AI in a variety of different ways. It's a danger. So Newsom signs a new law, all right, last Tuesday, 6 days ago, that says it is against the law in California to use artificial intelligence to create false images or videos in political ads ahead of the 2024 election. So what is he talking about? Roll it.
I, Kamala Harris, and your Democrat candidate for president, because Joe Biden finally exposed his senility at the debate. Thanks, Joe. I was selected because I am the ultimate diversity hire. I'm both a woman and a person of color. So if you criticize anything I say, you're both sexist and racist. I may not know the first thing about running the country, but remember, that's a good thing if you're a deep state puppet. I had 4 years under the tutelage of the ultimate deep state puppet, a wonderful mentor, Joe Biden. Joe taught me rule number 1, carefully hide your total incompetence.
So you see what they did. And it should be against the law. Not freedom of speech. It's manipulation, it's fraud. Fraud in the inducement to vote. So, all right, Gavin Newsom and O'Reilly are together on that law. And we better take a tough look in Congress about what's coming for AI. It's going to be horror. Secret Service report, the 60-day review promised by fired director Kimberly Cheadle. Yeah, she resigned to get her pension, but they booted her because she didn't know what she was doing. All right. So this review is out, and it says that the Secret Service is responsible for multiple security failures that led to the July 13th assassination attempt against former President Donald Trump. Embarrassing, terrible, awful. Why did this happen? Because I believe that Kimberly Cheadle, although she had experience in the federal government and Secret Service, was a diversity hire. I could be very wrong. I could be very unfair. But I watched that woman's testimony in front of Congress. She had no idea. Mexican cartel violence. Now, this is an important story because a lot of people vacation in Mexico. You spend your money in that country. Number one, Mexico is perhaps our worst enemy on the planet. It causes more direct damage to America than any other country. And everybody knows that. It allows millions of migrants in here. Doesn't have to allow, it does. And the drugs, the narcotics, 90% of them come through Mexico. And they're killing hundreds of thousands of Americans. The guy who presides over Mexico is Obrador. Okay, he is the president. Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador. He's on his way out, but they elected somebody worse, a woman. All right? And under Obrador, 200,000 Mexicans have been murdered. 200,000 murdered by the cartels, most of them. So there's now a war in Sinaloa, which is the western part of Mexico, northwestern part, okay? Sinaloa cartel. And the war broke out because the United States arrested 2 Sinaloa cartel leaders. The United States had to arrest them because the Mexicans wouldn't. So we lured them here and nailed them. Obrador blames the United States for this shootout where 53 people have been killed, 51 others missing. That means they're dead. That's 104 people. He says, well, if the United States didn't arrest these guys, we wouldn't have this. Obrador is a corrupt coward. I will not go to Mexico, probably ever again. Not spending any money there. They're not looking out for us. It's a corrupt, terrible country. People are nice. Country's beautiful. I've been all over it. Not going back. Smart life. So at 6:45 a.m. this morning, I walked into my dermatologist's office. I get the early appointment because he's a great guy and I got to work. So all of a sudden, the freeze thing comes out. 6:45 Monday morning. And it's freezing stuff off me. I mean, there's another me in a jar somewhere. And then on my chest, he's got to take the little scalpel and go, boop. Now, they give you a little numbing thing. So it's a little painful, but not a lot painful. Now, every time I go there now, probably every 3 months, because I'd like to stay alive. My father died from melanoma, as I told you in the past. But every time I go in there, I asked him, I said, look, I know I'm Irish, blue eyes, fair, and I don't go in the sun. The only time I'm in the sun unregulated is when I'm in the ocean. Okay, when I'm swimming and diving in the ocean. That's the only time. I got a big UVA umbrella. I got a big hat. I'm not out there a lot. But still, this is accumulation. And he says, I'm seeing more and more young people because the sun is more powerful now. And again, modern science. So anyway, go to the dermatologist. If you got anything on you that wasn't there and you can't get rid of by the potions, go. Smart life. Best tip I can give you. Both candidates, Trump and Kamala Harris, are considering doing interviews on 60 Minutes. I believe both will do that. But 60 Minutes isn't Mike Wallace. It's not the way it used to be. Last night they did a story on fentanyl overdose death. They didn't mention the open border. They didn't mention it. Well, but they'll do the interviews at 60 Minutes. Folks, life is precious, you know that, which is why I keep my Patriot Supplies 4-week emergency food kit here at home. I've got everything my family could need, with more than 2,000 calories a day and shelf life of 25 years. It's ready with enough to go around for whenever the next disaster strikes. And you know it will. Now, we've seen mass panic, some not that long ago in the streets. I'm not going to take my family's safety for granted, are you? Right now, you can get $50 off the same 4-week emergency food kit supply that I have in my house. Go to preparelikebill.com. Save $50 on your 4-week emergency food kit, and My Patriot Supply will send it over as fast as humanly possible. Trust me, my order showed up in 1 day, and it shipped free. Get your 4-week emergency food kit now at preparelikebill.com. That's preparelikebill.com. You've asked, and MyPillow listened up. They're bringing you the most requested offer ever. The premium queen size MyPillow. Now only $19.98. It's made with patented adjustable fill to fit your exact individual needs. Regardless of your sleep position, it even helps keep your neck aligned and holds its shape all night long for the best sleep of your life. This sale even includes their 6-piece kitchen and bath towel sets, just $25 each. Their brand new mattress topper, as low as $69.98. And their famous MyPillow bed sheets for as low as $25 and a lot more. So please go to MyPillow.com or call 800-869-0298. Use promo code BILL to get huge discounts on all MyPillow products, including the premium queen size MyPillow, only $19.98. That's the lowest price ever. Don't delay. Order today. Okay, we have Nancy Pelosi. Doesn't have to worry about any money because her husband, Paul, has raked in $30 million in tax profits. Okay, whoa. Nancy, probably the most powerful Democrat outside of the White House. 30 million, Paul, that's pretty good. Pretty good. The latest is Visa. In early July, this summer, Paul sold $500,000 worth of Visa stock. And a few weeks later, Visa was charged with antitrust violations. Ooh, just a coincidence, right? Just a coincidence. So, well, he did this before. Microsoft, he bought, and then the U.S. Army disclosed that they were going to buy headsets from Microsoft. So stock will way up. Okay? So, come on. You just heard about Biden and all the money he made, B&B, Speaker of the House Pelosi and Paul Pelosi, raking it in. But I know it's just a coincidence, right? Smart Life. It's a study by the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey. 1 in 10 of the 6,000 participants in the study is obese. Women nearly twice as likely to be way overweight than men. Okay? Now, if you're obese, you're going to die young. You don't see a lot of 80-year-old people 150 pounds overweight. You're going to die. So I don't want you to die. It's not that hard to take off the weight. Now they have drugs. Oprah was using one of them. All right? I'm not a big drug guy. Would never use it because there's going to be side effects to that. Here's what you do if you're Zoftig. All right? Word of the day, Zoftig. First thing you do, cut out all the sugar drinks, every one of them. So I, today for lunch, had Gold Bond iced tea. No sugar. It was fine. I drink ice, okay? It's a carbonated beverage, no sugar. And there are plenty of them. Now, you got to sample them because a lot of them have aftertastes. I can't drink that Zero Coke or whatever. I can't drink that. All right? Or Diet Coke. They're not even good for you. But there are a lot of natural beverages on the market. So that's number one. You have to knock out the sugar drinks. Number two, you got to limit the desserts. Now, you got to live your life. All right? So I eat between 2 and 3 desserts a week. That's not punitive. And again, there are very low sugar desserts that taste great. And when I'm hungry during the day, I eat nuts, cashews or almonds or whatever you like, peanuts. It fills you right up. You have some cashews and a glass of water, you're not hungry. Boom, knocks it right out. Because you don't want to be nibbling on the sugar stuff all day. So you get the drinks out, you get the sugar snacks out, you get the desserts down at 2-3 times, you'll just see that weight peel off. And then just go out for a walk every day or every other day. Just a nice walk. You don't have to be a Roman centurion, power walk. I do that. I have a little toga and I'm out there power walking, but that's just me. I'm an old athlete. But you don't have to do that. Just move it. And you'll see it. It'll just drip off you. Smart Life. Okay, here's another very interesting study. Majority of Americans say they're afraid to speak out on issues. 58% say they cannot share their honest opinion on sensitive topics. 61% say they censor themselves. It's a lot, okay? This is according to the Populous Research YouGov survey of 20,000 Americans. And they're smart. If you're just blathering about what you believe to anybody without any context, you're going to get hurt. Don't do it. So no one silences me because I make a living doing this, all right? And I'm promoting Confronting the President. So I was on a very interesting podcast, Patrick Bet-David. He's an Iranian American. Very interesting guy. Roll the tape. But I'm not a corporate creature. I'm not. I'm so much happier that I'm now running corporations. I'm never comfortable in that corporate culture.
Why is that?
Because I'm a rebel. I'm a renegade. I don't go along to get along. You know, I work with CBS News, I work at ABC News, I work with King World Inside Edition, Fox News, and I made money for all of them, lots of money, but I wasn't a guy who was going to come in and take orders from idiots. I just wasn't going to do that.
And by the way, happy belated birthday. You just had a birthday,
Thank
I think.
you.
And you're a Virgo. Are you a true Virgo? Are you like a perfectionist? Are you like a, I
yes.
think you are, right? Because
I'm absolutely, whatever that star says I am, I am. All right, so it's true. I am not a corporate kind of guy. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.